This CD is kind of like a launch into a direction we've never been to before.
We started thinking about what should we do next as a band.
This record is very interesting, very intricate.
We wanted this to be a limitless project.
We really need to do something to not just stand out, but to really push ourselves and satisfy maybe a bigger artistic vision.
I think that's what's taken so long, is just to get it right.
Whatever we thought it needed is exactly what we tried to do.
It took a lot of time to put together.
It's great to be back in the studio. We'll go in, I'll learn the songs, we'll learn the songs as a band, and then we'll record the drums. And sometimes we'll take the bass and record that along with the drums, so you've got that nice cohesive rhythm section happening. Or sometimes we'll just get the drums down and then Jeff will put the bass on later, and then Chris will go back and take away the scratch guitar tracks, and we build the song out that way.
Metro 37 in Rochester Hills is where we did all the drums and most of the bass. Some of the bass was done there. A few vocals were done there. They have an amazing studio, amazing drum room, a really nice big drum room there. So we did that there, and Chris did all of his guitars, or a majority of his guitars, with Terry, and that was in Toronto.
Being that this is the third record we've done with Terry Brown, this was a more elaborate record vocally.
When we were in Toronto, I did do some of the bass that wasn't done at Metro 37 was done there with Terry Brown, and that was amazing to be there. Got a lot of work done at Terry's studio.
On Friend or Foe, Terry Brown, our producer, had actually put a kind of a scratch drum track in there. So those were completed, and that was the first time I've ever gone in the studio and had to record right to a song that's already finished. So it was interesting. What has been different about this and more challenging, I think, has just been putting together all the different textures, all the different sounds.
We worked at several different studios.
It was really out of necessity. To be at legendary United Sound was truly amazing. To know and to see and to be part of that lineage that has gone through that studio. I mean, just Aretha Franklin and Rolling Stones, just to name a few. We did some vocal sessions at studio in Sterling Heights. We had a lot of fun there. The vocals were mostly done at a studio in Toledo with a guy named Mark Michael.
Both the way Matthew and Mark work, I mean, they work very quickly, but with purpose.
His studio is about as eclectic as you can be. I mean, you can't turn around and look at any space without seeing something very interesting that makes some very interesting noises and sounds. He's got an incredible collection of keyboards, shakers, and percussion. I had an opportunity on two of the songs to play a Middle Eastern instrument called the tambura, which was amazing. He's got a real mellotron, a true mellotron, not the digitized version, and he's got a harpsichord, electric harpsichord, and very creative environment.
Incredible ear, and he helped produce some things with us on that.
On one of the songs, Stonewall, I did the demo track. It was kind of comfortable in my range. When we tried to integrate Paul's lead vocal into the song, it just didn't work. I have to go back in and do it knowing that it's going to be used in the final mix. It's me on the verses, Paul on the choruses, and I have to admit, when I don't remember that it's me, it sounds okay, but still, it was a tough sell. I fought it for a long time until the writing was on the wall.
There's a song called Weightless that I'd say I'm humming most of the time right now. So right now at this time, I'd say Weightless is probably my favorite.
I think it was a surprise for all of us when it was finished. It was a song that in the booth, in the listening booth, we were listened to it quite a few times.
My daughter is a French student, so we had a French exchange student summer before last. Let's get a French exchange student to do a bunch of French spoken word. We ended up using some quotes from The Little Prince, and so we took some of the quotes from that story and interspersed them in between the songs.
We also recorded at a church in Dearborn when we did a recording session there for the choir.
We used a choir, 25-piece choir, for a standalone song when our central character is at a very low point, so it's very somber and like he's taking refuge in a church.
The walls in the church were kind of thin, and somebody was mowing their lawn. And the director, the choir director, because we couldn't hear it, but the choir director with his headphones could hear it, and the person that was running the board, they could hear it through the headphones. So I was elected to run across the street, and I asked the person how long it would take before he was done, and when I explained what we were doing, he was incredibly gracious and stopped instantly and said, "No, I'll just do this tomorrow." And I said, no, don't, everything's good. We just needed to know because we'll just take a break until then. He's like, absolutely not. I'm going to stop now. And that was, a really, really fun thing. And the church and the sound that we got out of that church was truly amazing. I hope that people listen to it and really like all the different sounds.
It's very hard to get everything where its own separated voice comes out with all the different textures and sounds and strings and vocals, and it's been a real challenge.
We had no idea it was going to turn into what it eventually turned into.
It's really exciting, and I really think people will enjoy it.